Hello, everyone. This is Renee Brent from Renee Brent Hypnosis. I am a clinical hypnotherapist here in Maitland, Florida, and I am a registered nurse for the last 30 years, yikes, and a hypnotherapist. Clinical hypnotherapist. I use a lot of my medical experience and expertise in helping people overcome the challenges we have with the physical. The mind and body are so beautifully connected, and we're learning that every day. So you have joined me today for chapter 2. Ooh, that's a little bit of a glare there. For my book, How Big Is Your Butt? This book is my first book, and it's been a bestseller for 4 years now, and I finally getting around to doing a series, and I wanted to really go through each, and I thought what better way to do it than online, Facebook, and then for free, and before I moved it into a program. So I'm glad you're here joining me, and if you don't have the book How Big Is Your Butt, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, or you can it's in Kindle, or it's in hard copy. I don't have audio. When I launch my next book, which is called Breaking the Worry Agreement, I'm very excited about that. I'll be letting you know more about that as we move forward. That's going to launch in September, and on there, and when I do that, I'm going to make an audio for both How Big Is Your Butt and Breaking the Worry Agreement, because I know most people, a lot of people have asked me, why don't you do it on video? I mean, on audio. And it's not that easy to do. I was trying to do it for myself with my voice, but I will change that around and get that done in the fall. So you can look forward to that. So the chapter that we're going to cover today is called Cracking the Ego Code and Taking Back Your Power. I really like this chapter because it talks about the practicality of the conscious and subconscious mind and what we're filtering through every single day. And let's just review very quickly if you don't know my work at all. The subconscious mind is your feeling mind, your emotional mind. It holds all your past events, your experiences, your emotions, and the imprints of those. And I talk about the conscious and subconscious mind like they're two, but there's lots of part of your brain that help you with the subconscious and conscious mind. I do that to kind of help people understand how to manage both. And then there's the conscious mind, which is about 5%, meaning subconscious is 95% of what holds us, filters through. And 5% is the conscious mind, and it's analytical. It's judgy. It keeps us intact. It keeps us going. But sometimes it can prevent us from really looking at our subconscious mind. We're not taught, most of us, unless we grew up in a really country or culture that is, like Asia or somewhere where they're very open to this Eastern medicine. But we're not taught how to manage the subconscious mind. I like to say that the subconscious mind is like a supercomputer, and it holds all of our files of everything we've ever experienced. So sometimes if you get a memory, it just means that somehow something opened up that file. And inside that file are everything that's attached to it, which is maybe visuals. I'm not visual. I don't really see things. I wish I saw more things like in dreams, but I just don't. But and that's okay. Your mind will process any way that you can. But you may have emotions that rise up. You may be thinking about something and crying like you're already there. That's because your subconscious mind takes you right back in there, especially if you have an emotional bridge to it, or it's something kind of traumatic or dramatic. It will take you right back in there. A lot of the work that I do is really releasing the emotional bridge to past events and relationship. So we have the conscious and subconscious mind. The subconscious, like a supercomputer. Again, if you don't know how to work with the subconscious mind, which is every person that I work with, one of the reasons I do these videos is because I want to teach people how to access that. Because it's like you have this incredible computer, but you have no keyboard and you can't get in it. Well, that's not going to work very much, is it? It just keeps gathering information, but you can't get in, you can't reprogram, you can't look at it, you can't understand what's managing through your day. That can be very frustrating. I hear people tell me, all the time, all day long in my private practice here in Maitland. I just feel so stuck. I know that I have this issue, but I can't change this issue. Knowing it is conscious. I know that I want to be less angry. I know that I want to stop procrastinating, but I can't seem to get into it. It's because you don't have a keyboard and you don't get into the heart of it, which is the subconscious mind. And that's why I love the work that I do and with my clients and their faces when they realize, oh my gosh, I can let this go. I can stop imprinting from this. I can stop filtering through these false beliefs and these past events that structured my entire belief about myself. Guess what? Yes, you can. And I want to talk today about what's in the subconscious mind, which is our ego states, which is inner child, inner critic, and adult ego. Now, all of those three ego states are very important to moving forward. My inner child, I absolutely love. I am in my upper 50s, and my inner child comes out strong many days. She's a lot of fun. She is spontaneous. Sometimes she says things that, and I say things because of her that are a little bit inappropriate, but that's okay. I love it, and I have a lot of fun with her. But I had to tame her because the inner child wants what it wants when it wants it. And that can cause this problem, especially if it's around food or alcohol or shopping or it can also be I don't want to do that, which is procrastination, right? Avoidance, um, these type of things. So if you're having one of those situations or patterns, it's because the inner child is in charge and the inner child is the boss and you're doing what the inner child wants, meaning that if you're having any kind of what I call maladaptive behaviors in your life, if you're overing anything or you have a behavior that just doesn't seem to working or you're procrastinating, you're letting around a 7 or 8-year-old control your life, make those decisions for you. And would you let a 7 or 8-year-old make your decisions in your life? Probably not. But we do it all the time because the subconscious is running automatically, autonomically, right? And we don't have the keyboard to get in. So I had to go in and have a little chat with my inner child to let her know, listen, I have to be the adult. There's some things that I need to get done. And I promise that I'll play with you. And the hardest part about, not the hardest part, there's a lot going on that's hard right now in the COVID-19, but in quarantine. But one of the things that I miss the most besides hugs is travel. Like I used to plan something, either speaking engagement and then travel or some kind of getaway um, I would say every 5 weeks or so. And I just haven't done that. And it's a little hard. I miss it. I want to go online. I did this the other night. I was like, I just got to see where I want to go. And I started, just daydream about some big trips that I want to take next year when things settle down a little bit. So the inner child is learning how to find the balance and being the boss and let the inner child know that you're going to play. So we never want to beat up the inner child. Those behaviors of inner overing or doing something or having more fun and playing on your phone, the game for an hour or so and avoiding the house cleaning or whatever you need to do, or writing that paper. I used to hear that from a lot of kids. It's because your subconscious mind wants to help you feel better and move away from any discomfort or pain, actually. So if something's pushing up that feels uncomfortable, the subconscious mind wants to help you by relieving you from that. And if you somewhere in your life found that eating food or drinking alcohol helped you feel better and calmer, then that's what the subconscious mind, that inner child, is going to help you do. And it's really about trying to help you. We don't want to get rid of the inner child. We just want to help you in a new way. And that's what we're going to do later in about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to do a meditation for parts therapy, because inside of our ego state, inner child, inner critic, and adult ego, we have sub-personalities of these ego states, which is behaviors or patterns. We're not personality. I don't really know if that's a thing. I think it's really just really segmented behaviors. And when you go in and you learn to be the boss of those behaviors and say, thank you, but no thank you, we need to do it a different way, it really can change those behaviors and release some of the stuff that's pushing up, or at least help you feel confident enough to be able to look at what's going on in your life and change them in a really productive way. And that's what I want to help you do today, is really understand cracking that ego code so you can take back your power, so you can be in the driver's seat, so you can be in the boss. So there's inner child, of course, that really establishes itself very young. When we're younger than 10, everything that is being said to us is encoded as truth. Our conscious and subconscious mind at that point are wide open. Children are always in the beta brain, or in an alpha brainwave or a theta brainwave, which is hypnosis or meditation. Children are always imprinting. That's how we learn to do things automatically, autonomically, like riding a bike language. But children are incredible observers, terrible interpreters. It's cause and effect. So children learn very young beliefs about themselves based on what they experience. And I would say the two most important words that we express in our life and how we manage our life is I am. What comes after that really lets you know where you are, gives you some clues about where it came from and what you're filtering through. So if you in your life had really positive experiences and you had people all the time, even if things happen, said you are amazing, you're wonderful, I know that was a mistake, but doesn't mean you're a mistake, it doesn't mean you're stupid. If you have that in your life, then you're going to have really incredible beliefs about yourself. I am strong, I am beautiful, I am capable, and that's fantastic. But in my experience in the work that I do is the people who are coming to me are having some kind of symptom because their belief about themselves is negative, which is I am stupid, I am not enough, I am ugly, I am worthless, I am hopeless, I am alone. These are the belief systems that we hold. And everything we experience through the day is going through that. So an example is if you believe that you're stupid and you have somebody in your life who questions something that you did, or you have a boss who says something, listen, I'd really like for you to change these words on that report, or I'd really like you to look deeper into that. Man goes through that, and what they heard is I'm a terrible person, I'm a terrible employee, I'm going to get fired any day, and it just goes on and on and on. And then all of that push causes emotions, beliefs cause emotions, and emotions cause symptoms, which is our inner child or our inner critic activates and says, nope, we need to help now. And this is where sub-personalities, patterns come in to try and help you. So we never want to get rid of one of these patterns, these sub-personalities, a procrastinator, a overeater, over shopper, over porn, over drinking. I specialize in addiction and relapse prevention. And this is the model of which I work to kind of help people understand that. So the inner child wants what it wants, what it wants. Inner critic, most of us have an inner critic that really can just rip you through the day and point out everything that you're doing, that it thinks you're doing wrong, or every mistake that you've ever had. This inner critic just lets you know, just blasts you, or puts doubt in your mind. You can't do that. You're not smart enough to do that. Who do you think you are? You can't do that. Why did you do that? If you know that inner critic, it can be very harsh. And I write about this in the book. We would never, ever let somebody talk to us like that in our life, ever. But we let that internal bully come through every day. And again, that internal critic, which is also called parent ego, by the way. So if it sounds like your parent, right, it's because it was something you taught. Because parents can be harsh without even knowing it. Remember, when you're younger than 10, you're imprinting that and you're thinking, oh, they must be angry. That must be that I'm not enough. Or if they tell me to do better in school, it must mean that I'm stupid or unworthy, right? So these are how we translate perception in the child. But the inner critic is created because, man, I want to stay in this box. And if I stay in this box, therefore I am loved, or I am valuable, or I don't feel all the other pain in my life. This is where perfectionism comes in. A perfectionist has a very, very harsh inner critic, and who's saying, nope, we got to do it this way. Redo that one. That's not right. Look at, oh, that's good. OCD, in my opinion, comes from a really, really harsh inner critic in ourselves, because it has to be right. If it's not exactly perfectly right, then I am not enough. And by the way, there's an illusion. Perfectionism is an illusion. It's an impossible goal to meet. I mean, I've had very, very successful men in my practice, and I've seen privately, who have such a harsh inner critic, and they believe in their mind that the only way that they've created success in their life is because they were so harsh every day at themselves. And I congratulate them. I congratulate them on being a success in spite of the inner critic. Because when the inner critic is going at you, it may in the beginning motivate you, but man, it can wear you out. And it can create hopelessness. It can help make people feel alone and create isolating behaviors, because if I'm not perfect, then I am not capable of being out there. And that is often social anxiety or isolation or hiding behaviors that the inner child helps us with, which is over drinking or over something, right? So it's really about talking. We don't want to get rid of the inner critic. I have to tell you, the inner critic is trying to help you be successful. The highest intention of all our ego states is happiness, peace, love, success, protection. Fabulous. We don't want to get rid of it. You just got to learn to talk to it in a different way. And if you if you're in the middle of negative self-talking, and your what's called the analytical filter, the critical factor, is up, guarding this subconscious mind, man, positive talking is going here. So one of the techniques I'm going to talk to you about in just a minute is just how to, drop this a little bit and start speaking to that part, that behavior, that subconscious ego state. Now that's inner critic. Inner critic comes to try and help you. Children, and you used to hear about people who got an A- and then would commit suicide or jump off a building or something. They have very, very harsh inner critics, because if I am not an A+, if I am not perfect, then I'm not loved or lovable, and I'm alone. And if you believe that the only way people are going to love you is if you get an A++, life can be kind of hopeless. And if that just adds up, it adds up, it adds up. So it's really about calming that down and creating this, just like with the inner child, you get a contract. You decide, all right, let me be the adult. I'm gonna have fun with you. I promise I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna plan some fun, and I'm gonna take care of myself. That calms down the inner child. The inner critic, if you can have a conversation with it and ask it perhaps to be supportive. How about if you remind me of everything I'm doing right? Wow, how would that change your life if you had that internal voice that said, you're doing a great job, believe in yourself. There's no mistakes, you're only learning. There's only opportunities to learn. What if you heard that, like this internal cheerleader, right? Incredible. I've seen incredible lives turn around when my clients just reestablish the relationship with their inner critic and start feeling support. And they don't feel so alone. They don't feel so beat up. They don't feel so tired. It's exhausting fighting with yourself every single day as soon as you open your eyes about what you're not doing right. So inner child, inner critic, and then adult ego. The adult ego works pretty good with the conscious mind. It's the part that says, no, you can't be bothered by that from childhood. No way, that's not happening. The adult ego just kind of keeps you in line in a new way. Now, you're the boss, by the way, of all these parts. You should be anyway. But if you don't feel like you're in charge and you're the boss, it's time to have what I call a staff meeting. You have this incredible team of your inner ego personalities that can be used to help you with an incredible team. Right now, they're kind of beating each other up. Because if you have, let's say, I have a lot of drinkers who are really struggling right here through COVID. I've been very, very busy with that. If you have a drinker that's saying, nope, we got to drink, we got to feel better, it's the only way, blah, blah, blah. And then you have an inner critic the next morning that's saying, why are you doing that? You didn't do that. Of course you shouldn't drink. Why are you doing that? You're destroying your life. If they're going at it, it increases more discomfort And then you're going to want to do the behavior that you don't want to do, which is overeat, overdrink, avoid, you know, game for, 8 hours. You know, people just want to turn it off. And if the only way that you have to turn it off is in some maladaptive, dysfunctional way, that's what you're going to do. So it's really about having a meeting with your parts, renegotiating the behavior. We don't want to get rid of them. When I do a parts session, and we're going to do a parts meditation in just a minute, it's really about saying, thank you. What is your job? What is it that you want from me? But listen, I need you to do it in a new way. This isn't working for me in my life today. And then ask that part to show up for you daily in a new way. So an inner critic, let's say example, who's trying to protect you or help you feel successful by pointing out everything you're doing wrong so you'll make changes. Ask that part, I really need you to be supportive. I need you to remind me that I am good enough, that my best is good enough. And then from there, if there are changes that I need or want to make, I'll do that from self-care, self-love, acceptance. If we're judging, there's no room for change. If we're pushing ourselves and we're beating ourselves up, it makes our ability to make changes in our life and to feel happy very, very narrow. So it's really about getting to it and understanding what we're filtering through. So, and that internal battle also can cause a lot of confusion and frustration, and then anger can show up from that. So if you hear yourself in any of the things I'm talking about, please know that you can change that. And I'm going to help you do that today. That's one of the reasons why I wrote my book. That's one of the reasons I'm covering this chapter by chapter. So each chapter builds on the next. And if for some reason you missed chapter 1 or you can't make the next lives, I'm doing it every 2 weeks, every Friday. I'm still playing with the time. So if you have a time that works better for you, or even a day, just let me know. And in the future, I can just kind of rearrange that. But all of this is going on my YouTube channel, Renee Brent Hypnosis, and check it out. I have a lot of videos from COVID, and I'm starting this chapter by chapter series on how big is your butt. So let's get rid of that confusion. Let's get rid of that internal battle. Let's release some of those patterns or beliefs that aren't working for you. And let me just check through and make sure I got everything. Yes. Good. Right? If you're waiting to feel happy when you're successful or be perfect, you're going to be waiting a long time. And this is why I have, 40, 50, 60-year-olds that are just tired. They're tired of just fighting every day. They're tired of feeling uncomfortable. And as we get older and the subconscious mind starts screaming at us, because it'll start with a whisper, and if we're not listening, it'll start screaming emotionally. It'll start screaming physically. If you're having physical symptoms, high blood pressure, any kind of issues like that, it would benefit you from really taking a look internally, inward, and see what's going on with your subconscious mind. And it's really about releasing the negativity and moving towards a higher perspective. I want to remind you that on the website practicehappynow.com, I have 2 free meditations. One is for sleep. I've mentioned this a lot. It's very hard to make changes or be happy if you are not sleeping. You need to sleep. If your computer is running and all 500 files are open from your past, the computer is not going to run very well. And sometimes, we just need to reboot our computer. We just need to turn it off, turn our phone off, and let it just reestablish. We absolutely, as human beings, need to do that at night for sleep. We need to, our chemistry needs to rev up, to release some chemistry, some proteins. All of this stuff goes on while you sleep. And your emotional mind downloads, right? What you've experienced through the day kind of goes into those files in our supercomputer. So we need to be able to sleep at night. The other one is higher self meditation. It's very important. Higher self or higher perspective is really about listening to that voice that says, come on, you got this. You're not that, you're something else. I'm not doing the higher self meditation because I have it on a free link on the website. You can get that, or I have it on multiple videos on my YouTube channel. So I've decided to do something a little different today, but you can check out Higher Self Meditation. Go to Practice Happy Now or go to my YouTube channel and take a peek at that, because every one of us needs a higher perspective. And don't beat yourself up if you have some of what I'm talking about, the inner critic, the overeater, overdrinker, procrastinator, whatever. It's not your fault. We're not taught how to manage our subconscious mind. So be nice to yourself. Please be nice to yourself. All of this is just about awareness. It's not meant for judgment or despair. It's meant for empowerment, because we cannot change things unless we are aware of them. And care about yourself enough to take a stand. This is something I wrote down because I thought that was very important. You're the only one that can do it. You're the only one that can take care of yourself. You're the only one that can reframe. You're the only one that can get into your supercomputer. You have to do it. So it's time for you to take a stand and communicate differently with your parts. One of the things I start people with is this. I'm going to move it into a technique right now about how to start. So we all hear this all day. Yeah, Renee, I know. So if you know me, you know I just don't talk. I like to give practical techniques and solutions, right? Let's get to the heart of it. Let's get to what's going on for you. So when you're hearing all this, or you're in a behavior that you're trying to avoid, your brain waves are high, and you're very, very busy in this maladaptive behavior, these thoughts, right? So one of the quickest ways to do is this critical factors here that's protecting that subconscious mind is really about just dropping it a little bit so you can get into a slower brainwave, so you can communicate with what's really going on. It doesn't help us to think about it, to have awareness of it. It doesn't. You have to drop into your truth. You have to be able to look at it, and sometimes that's uncomfortable. I talked last week about the in-between. You have to stop being who you are to create who you want to be, but there's the in-between. So it's really about getting comfortable in the in-between and start learning to talk to yourself. And one of the easiest ways you can do to really just try to relax your body is breathe. You've heard me say it before. You probably heard a lot of people say, just breathe, right? There's a physical response to that when you take a breath, because on the other end of that, when you're in stress or when you're in fight or flight or worry or fear, your mind is quieting down, and your fight, flight, or freeze, which means in human beings, we want to just pretend like nothing's happening, right? So we breathe shallow. So I want you to pay attention to your own breath. When you're breathing shallow or even holding your breath, you're trying to suppress emotions. And that never works, because when you suppress emotions, we're putting them back there. And I tell people it's like the little sponges that I used to buy my kids when they were little. And they were little tiny ones, but you put them in the water or the bathtub and they would get bigger. That's what's happening to your emotions that you're shoving down every single day. I promise you, they're going to pop up somewhere else. And we don't want that. You want to be in control. You want to be the boss of this. So you stop. When you hear it, don't beat yourself up. Judgment never helps. And we can't observe the behavior. We can't gain awareness if we're judging. The two cannot be together. If you're judgment, you're in it and you can't see it. So it's really about releasing that. And one of the things is stopping for a moment. It doesn't take long. You could do this in 30 seconds. You can get really, really good at it. Stop, and then you breathe. Full breath in. Everybody take a breath now with me. Just take a breath and exhale long, slow. Right? You might be, if I'm pushing some buttons for you, you might be breathing shallow right now. So just take another breath. And guess what? When you breathe, you're sending all this message down to your body just to quiet and calm down. If you know my work at all, I also tell people to relax their tongue and their jaw. That's called the alpha sequence. You can learn that on another section, another chapter, or you can go to my past videos. But for right now, I just want you to just breathe full and exhale. You're relaxing everything, and really you're communicating with your mind and the body that I'm feeling a little safer, and that I can relax my nervous system. I don't always have to be on hyper alert. So now that you've just take some breaths, right? You stopped. Now I want you to be the observer, the curious observer. When you observe, remember, judgment and observing don't happen at the same time. So you have to stop, breathe, and observe. Observe the fact that you've been on your phone for 2 hours watching videos, right? I did that yesterday. I got on videos and I was an hour and a half on a video. And I'm like, Renee, what the hell? Well, guess what I was avoiding? I was avoiding writing a difficult chapter that I'm on the book that I'm working through right now, and I just didn't want it. And my inner child said, no, 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 we're gonna watch videos, and that's what I did, and I was okay with that. But I had to, when I woke up from it, I'm like, holy crap! I did what I'm just telling you, which is I stopped, I took a breath, and I became the observer, and I observed what's going on for you right now. So as you're the observer, just gently with compassion, ask yourself, what was that about? Why am I drinking that fourth glass of wine? Or the next morning, if you wake up, why did I eat that ice cream at 2 in the morning? Just be the observer of it without judgment. Because when you observe, your mind feels safer to look at it, to think about it after you've breathed and you're quiet and you're calm and it feels safe. Now you can be the observer, and now you can learn and grow. There are no mistakes. There are opportunities to learn and retrain your brain. And that's what I love doing, and that's what I hope that you'll continue to do as you follow this series of chapter by chapter. Now that you've taken a breath, you're the observer. Now you have a chat. You don't have to know if it's inner child, inner critic, what part it is. You don't have to know any of that. All you have to know is that I don't like beating myself up, or I really need to make these 4 phone calls for work, and why am I not doing that? So if you breathe, quiet things down, now you can talk, have a little chat with the part of you that's doing that, and say, thank you for trying to help me, because I know you have the highest intention for me, but no thank you. We need to do that in a new way now. And when you start that dialogue in a new way from a place of friend, remember, you're the boss. No employee is going to stay with you if you're beating them up all the time. Not going to happen. So have your own employee meeting. In just a few minutes, we're going to go into a meditation. I'm going to have you talk to a part that is bothering you most in your life today. It might be inner critic, it might be pattern or belief, and have a chat with it. But if you hear a negative talker saying, so breathe, observe, and then chat. If you hear the negative talker, I want you to ask yourself, is it true? I talk about, this is one of the exercises in chapter 2 on how big is your butt, is truth talk. Is it true? And you may hear, of course it's true. Of course you're stupid. Look at it. Blah, blah. And then you ask yourself, is it absolutely true? There are no absolutes. It's not absolutely true. So when you break through that and you understand that it's absolutely not true, now you could start renegotiating with the part. Listen, I understand why you're doing this, but I need you to do it in a new way, because you're not really working with the team so much, and this is not really working for me, right? It used to work, thank you, but it's not working for me in my life today. And when you start communicating and you start reframing in a place of compassion and the observer without judgment, then you'll start making some changes in your life. So don't let those behaviors go. Breathe, stop, chat, have the conversation, and renegotiate in a beautiful new way. Okay, if any of you have any questions about that, of course, you can always contact me, ReneeBrentHypnosis.com. I have a free 15-minute call. I'd love to chat with any of you if you're having some struggle with that, and I can give you some hints, tips, or whatever. If you need more of that, you can, of course, buy the book, How Big Is Your Butt, on Amazon, or just replay this on my YouTube channel, Renee Brent Hypnosis, and go again and again and do this meditation. So I want all of you to get comfortable. Please don't do this while driving. I have to say that. People do it. And I used to do podcasts, and then I would try to do that, and every time I had to tell people not to do this exercise while you are driving, please. And so let's go, because your mind will relax. You're just going to you're going to have a boss. You're going to be in the meeting. Remember, in hypnosis, you're just quieting things down. Your conscious might be coming in, busy, quiet. Tell yourself as you're moving through it, I will tell you also every sound, every breath will take you deeper into that state. It doesn't take much to drop this to be able to get to the subconscious mind. Hypnosis isn't flat out, you don't remember everything. Hypnosis is a natural change in a brainwave where you're more relaxed, and now you can have a conversation with your deep inner mind. And that's what you're going to do today. You gain more awareness than you do when you're conscious, I promise you, because now you know your truth. You can be the observer of the truth, and you can be the change agent for your subconscious mind and your neurons. Get comfortable, find a spot, quiet. Let's just, everybody just close their eyes for a minute, take a breath in. And as you exhale, think relax. What I want you to do is relax your tongue and your jaw now, and just take a breath. And exhale. Tell yourself to relax. Just notice, perhaps things are loosening up now with every breath, focusing there. Breath in. And as you exhale, think to yourself, relax. Just clear away the conversation. Every noise, every movement, every adjustment that you make will allow you just to relax even more. It's safe for you to relax today. It's safe for you to go and have a conversation with this part that we were talking about. It may be the inner critic. It may be a pattern. Whatever it is, trust where you go today and who you want to talk. Get an idea now as you're relaxing. As your eyes are closed, I'm just going to count from 5 down to 1. You can feel your arms and legs relaxing with every breath. And as you're doing it, get an idea of what part you wanted to talk to today. 5, relaxing even more. 4, good. Every sound, relaxing. Perhaps you start noticing your breath on the exhale, how it just takes you even deeper. 3, letting go. You're the only one that can do this. You're the only one that can stand up for yourself. You're the only one that can have this conversation with this internal part that you want to discuss today, where you're the boss and you're having an employee meeting. 2, feel the rise and fall of your body and your breath going deeper. And 1, relax. As you begin to go deeper, just allow my voice to go with you. Put all your attention on your eyelids. Make them so very heavy and so relaxed they feel as if they just do not want to work. Imagine that for now those eyelids are so heavy that you just can't be bothered with opening them. If you'd like to go even deeper, you can pretend. Simply pretend if you try to open your eyes, you find they just do not want to work. Can't be bothered. Let's just relax with every breath. And when you're convinced they're comfortably closed down, you can stop trying. Relax your eyelids. Send this wave of relaxation down through your whole body, relaxing head to toe, skin to bones. With every breath going deeper and deeper, relax. Notice the rise and fall of your breath. And your beautiful mind is going to take you to a beautiful place to relax. Perhaps today for you it's going to be the beach or the mountains or lake or the clouds, wherever you want to be. Trust where your mind takes you. Have some fun. Be the observer. Be curious about where your mind takes you. And I am just going to count again from 10 down to 1. Again, just another opportunity for you to just listen to my words. With each number that you hear, you just go deeper and deeper. If you want to count along, you can. If you just want to go straight to your special place, go there now. Everything I'm doing is a pencil sketch. Your mind will show you what you need. 10, going deeper and deeper, relax. 9, relax. Feel your arms relaxing even more, your legs relaxing, thoughts slowing down. 8, letting go, more relaxed, more relaxed, more relaxed. 7, down, 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 letting go. 6, relax, relax, eyes closed, relax. Just let your body, mind relax. Only you can do this, I cannot do it for you. 6 and 5, down, down. Getting an idea of that special place that you want to go to. Perhaps as each number you can start to hear the sounds in that special place, or the relaxation, or that sense of ease that comes. 4 and 3, deeper relaxed. Deeper relaxed. Deeper. 2. Relax. Going deeper. And deeper. It's safe to relax. Nobody wants anything. Nobody needs anything. Just relax. It's okay for you to take care of yourself. It's okay for you to take a stand now. You're brave, courageous to be able to talk to this part today. And 1. Deeper now. Deeper. And perhaps you get a sense of yourself sitting, reclining, relaxing in that special place. As you're sitting there, imagine, sense, or feel, have the intention that you're such a comfortable chair that you're just, relaxing even more like you're on a cloud. If you're outside, notice the color of the sky or the position of the sun, the temperature of the air on your skin. Perhaps it's fall, perhaps it's warm. Trust your mind, it'll take you there. You can listen to the sounds around you, nature, maybe the ocean, or just birds in the distance. Or maybe just the silence of your own breath. There's not a wrong or right way to do this. Your mind will take you where you want to go or need to go. Trust your experience. Perhaps you feel the breeze on your face. You smell the fresh air. Be there to see what you see, to feel what you feel, and to hear what you hear. And when you're this relaxed, it's a great opportunity to speak to that part we were talking about. And I want to remind you that these parts are not bad in any way, and they can come in easily and freely to speak to you today. You may see the part, you may just know the part, you may just have a thought of the part, but it's all the same. Your mind will process it and help you reestablish a relationship with this part in a new way. So I want you to imagine wherever you are, there's another seat available next to you. And I want you to call in the part that you want to talk to today. Maybe it's the inner critic, maybe it's the procrastinator, maybe it's the inner child, whatever it is, just invite it in. Again, you may sense it, you may see it. And as you're sitting there with every breath getting more of a connection to this part, remember, you're the boss. This is friendly. I want you to just greet your part. Thank it for arriving, coming in today. And you're going to be asking this part some questions, and you're going to listen to the answers. If it doesn't come up right away, you'll know in a minute. Or maybe you just need to connect today with that part without any established boundaries. So just ask that part, what is your job? What is it that you do for me? And just listen to the answer. And perhaps just ask it again. So by doing that, by being negative or helping me avoid the work I need to do, what does that do for me? What do you want from me? Listen to the response. And then if it gave you a certain behavior, and then what do I gain by that? I want you to just keep asking, and what does that do? And what does that want? Until you get to the highest intention. As I'm silent for a moment, go ahead, have this conversation with the part, and get to what it wants most for you. Is it protecting? Is it happiness? Success? Go ahead. Have the conversation. Listen, and you shall receive the information. If it's not answering, then you can just talk to it. And just tell it how it's affecting your life, the way it's doing its job now. Tell the part, when you do it that way, it makes me feel so. Go ahead. Good. Trust what comes up for you. And what does the part say back to you? Remember, you're the boss. And what do you say back to the part about how it's affecting your life? And be the part. What does the part say back? What do you hear back from the part? Take another minute here, and I want you to just let the part know how it's affecting your life. Let the part know that it perhaps is not working. You want to thank the part. If it's there to protect you, thank you for trying to protect me. Many of our behaviors have been with us for many, many, many years, from very, very young. So have that conversation, that dialogue, and ask the part, are you willing to help me in a new way? Can you see the way you're doing is not working? Go ahead as I'm silent. Finish that conversation with the part. Good. And if the parts agree to help you in a new way, fantastic. Maybe this is just the first introduction. You can go back to do this again and again with your parts to restructure them, to have them help you in a new way. So ask the part, this is what I'd really like you to do. I'd really like to help me in a new way. This is what I'd like you to do. Every day I would like for you to show up and help me XYZ. For example, if it's an inner critic, ask the part, I need you to be more positive and supportive. Or I would love for you to remind me every day of what I'm doing right and my best is good enough. Or the procrastinator, thank you. I'd love to have some fun. Let's get 2 calls done and then we can watch videos and then we can do more. Renegotiate. So go ahead and do that now. Give it a couple, 2, 3, 4 items to show up for you daily. What it can encourage you to do, what can it remind you to do, how it can speak to you. Trust what comes up here. Beautiful. Again, you can always come back to this. And you're going to remind this part every day, especially for the next week or so, what its job is. No, remember, we're doing it a new way. Just like a new job description, you have to remind somebody what their job is, or they're just going to start doing it their own way again. You're the boss. It's okay to be the boss. If you had any difficulty with this, that's okay. If you've never done this kind of work, it can be different and even challenging in the beginning. Just trust what came up for you, even if you're just aware that there is a part that's trying to help you in some way. That's a win, by the way. Awareness is not judgment. You'll go at your pace. So I want to ask you, can you accept that this part is helping you the best way it knew how? It's trying to help you. Can you accept that? And then can you accept the new jobs that it's going to do for you? And remember, you can go in, take a breath, have a chat, observe, and if there's something else, oh, by the way, I need you to do this. You can add on. You can change. You're the boss. It's fluid how we communicate with our subconscious mind. And can you forgive this part for any trouble that it's caused in your life when you understand that it was trying to help? And hopefully, if you've answered yes to all those, fantastic. If you haven't, that's okay. You just need to have more conversations with this part. Don't judge it. Now I want you to name the part for the new job that it's doing. It helps us to be able to communicate. Sounds silly in the beginning to name this part, and it could be a name like Joe or Fred. Don't have it your name. That would be too confusing. Or it could be something like Miss Positive, or a cheerleader, or responsible inner child, whatever. Trust what comes up for you. Excellent. And now I want you to imagine moving forward with that part. Imagine waking up every morning with that part on your side, the positive part working with you every day to accomplish your goals, for you to have clarity, for you to have ease and happiness. Imagine that part working with you, supporting you, reframing it, working together, having a positive partner within. Wow. Go ahead, just imagine and sense that and what changes that it can bring for you in your life. And that image of what's coming for you is what I want you to hold on to. Because the changes you want and you desire is what you're going to witness as you're moving through the in-between of change. And that's going to help you. So hold on to that image of your part helping you. Talk to it every day. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your part. You're learning here, and that's okay. And every day in every way it will be easier and easier. And you'll be able to communicate. You're going to stop, breathe, observe, and have a chat, and argue for your truth every single day. Now in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 to bring you back to your regular waking consciousness. When you open your eyes at number 5, you'll be right back here to your regular waking consciousness, ready for the day, the boss of your part. I talk to my parts every day, and you will too. 1, coming back, more and more the sound of my voice. 2, clear-headed about your ability to move forward step by step. 3, rested and refreshed. You remember this entire session. You can return to it anytime you choose. 4, beautiful energy moving through your body, feeling that connection to your new transformed part. And when you're ready, I'm number 5. Eyes open back here to your regular waking consciousness. Hello, welcome back. I'm going to stay on just for a few more minutes. If there's any feedback or any questions, I'll be happy to answer that for you. I know it's an interesting exercise to do, but everything's about bringing awareness, no judgment. There's not a wrong or right way to do this. Like I said, I have employee meetings with my parts all the time, especially if they're resisting writing or finishing the book or doing what I need to do. So, and I have a lot of fun. My part, I make sure that I pay attention to my inner child, so she is with me all the time. So I really enjoyed. Again, you can contact me at reneebrenthypnosis.com, book a call if you have any questions, or if you have a pesky part that's not quite willing to have a chat, I'd love to help you with that. Next 2 weeks from Friday, I am going, what's the date on that? Sorry, I should have had that. That is the 31st, Friday the 31st. I'm going to be doing the chapter 3, which is felt sense, felt what. This is about the connection to our physical body, that sensation when we're stressed and how to start managing that. I have some great techniques, and I hope to see you then. Be well, believe in yourself, be comfortable in between, and be the boss of your parts. Thank you, Beth. Hello, Hale, and all of you that joined me today. I really appreciate you, and take care of yourself. You deserve it. Stand up for yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Bye now. Have a great day.